Welcome to Search for Signs. My name is Gary Willing. If this information interests you, please press the like and subscribe button and press the bell for notifications. What's going on today politically in the United States is, of course, going on all around the world. Now, what I'm referring to today are the articles of impeachment that Congress is looking to issue against the President Donald Trump. Do I think he's going to get impeached? Probably not, but you never know. Do I think that if he broke the law, he should be held accountable? Yes, I think everybody that should be held accountable if they break the law. Just like you or I. If you or I broke the law, we should be held accountable too, right? Now, my humble opinion is that every lawmaker in Washington should be impeached. Because I think they're all breaking the law. But that's, like I said, just my opinion. Now, what the political divisions in this country, right? Just what, the United States, just when you think they can't get any deeper, right? Another month passes, then it gets even, deeper and wider and everything. There are a lot of reasons why it's going on, but the main reason is this is the process before we see a more harmonious political environment. It's what Jesus referred to as the sword of cleavage. Now, Jesus made a prediction when he said that he comes not to bring peace, but to bring a sword. He was talking about the nature of the law of love, the Christ principle. It was actually Maitreya speaking through Jesus at the time, but he was talking about that nature. And the Christ energy is a unifying force, of course, but it also has a tendency temporarily to create divisions in the world. Thus, the sword of cleavage. It separates the right from the left, the conservatives from the Democrats, the environmentalists from the capitalists, and so forth. And it really helps humanity see who and what we are, because we can't really go forward until we truly see what's going on. And it has to be very, very broad strokes. It can't be anything subtle. We have too much of a hard nut at this time. But that's really what the sword of cleavage is. The other part of it is not only the nature of the Christ principle, but it's also there are two great spiritual beings that are working through Maitreya in the exact same way that any master would work through a disciple, but in particular, the way that Maitreya worked through Jesus back 2,000 years ago in Palestine. They're overshadowing him in the same way. And one is the spirit of peace and equilibrium, and the other one is the avatar of synthesis. Now, these two great beings aren't even living in our solar system. They can't. They're too evolved to even live in our solar systems. I don't know where they are. I don't have their address. I do have their fax number if you want to fax them something. No, I'm just kidding. You can text them or email them, I guess. But anyway, I digress. But their energy is working through Maitreya that's helping to even create even deeper divisions. Now, you might ask, why would that be a good thing? Well, Maitreya said that all in life is energy, and that energy has its opposites. So just because you're experiencing a tough year this year, who's to say next year won't be the best year ever? Or if you're struggling in one area this year, who's to say next year you won't have mastered that, right? For instance, right? So everything has its opposites. So just because the divisions are going on today in the way that they're going on, and they seem to, like I say, keep getting deeper and wider, who's to say that next year it won't swing back the other way rather quickly? And that is the intention of these energies. Now, also, I wanted to touch on the fact that each one of these masters, and Maitreya is a master, he's a master of all the masters, are master custodians of energy, of these cosmic energies. So the energy of love, for instance, right? Maitreya actually is in control of it. He can actually send it out into the world. He can send it to a certain area, this, that, and the other. He can withhold it or limit it if that's what's needed, for instance, because sometimes these energies create, if they're used in the wrong way, can create problems. Like, for instance, war. right? Well, war takes energy to do, right? So if energy is withdrawn from that area, then a lot of times a war might not even start. So these masters are master custodians of energy, and they will eventually teach humanity the same skill. But right now, they're the only ones on our planet that can do this. So these energies from the spirit of peace and equilibrium and the avatar synthesis, right? Well, they're not just sent out into the world however it goes, right? At full force. They're restrained. Like I said, sometimes they're held back totally if that's what's needed. Sometimes they're sent out more in abundance or whatever, all for the benefit of humanity. And it's done moment to moment. You could be talking to Maitreya, or somebody could be interviewing Maitreya on TV, and simultaneously he's doing 1,000 different things, appearing to a individual in a country, helping aid somebody in an accident, sending these energies all around the world, helping to offset some great cosmic event. He can do all that while he's sitting in a studio talking to humanity. So he's a master multitasker. But that's the nature of these masters. They don't waste time, they don't waste energy, they don't waste anything, and they don't waste an opportunity to teach. So politically, I kind of digressed a little bit. That's really what's going on politically. But in the end, it will create a more harmonious and unified political field for the betterment of humanity. The other thing is that I wanted to touch on is that really to use a phrase, the tail is wagging the dog right now. The dog being humanity and the tail being government, right? The government should be doing what the tail does what should, do what the dog wants it to do, right? Either wag or not, right? And it shouldn't be the tail that's wagging the dog. And that's kind of what is going on, like I said, what's going on with government, because government should be following the will of the people. But if the will of the people isn't strong enough, well, of course, the people in power are just going to keep doing what they're doing. And these divisions are really the holdup politically and economically and even environmentally. It's what's holding up progress. And both parties are guilty of it. It's not just one party, and it's not just one media outlet that's the problem, and the other ones aren't. It's all of them are the problem with it. And this impeachment process, even if I think if Donald Trump is guilty of it, is just going to be another distraction to delay the needed changes that are, that we have to start taking place rather quickly. So in that regard, it's troubling. Now, the other side of it is that Maitreya did say that we're past the turning point, or the tipping point, where, not in a bad way, in a good way, that peace is guaranteed and assured. We will eventually experience peace on earth. It's just going to be a matter of us doing it. But again, these things, like these political theater that goes on with this stuff is just delays, and then more delays, and then more delays. So when's humanity going to step up and say enough is enough? We need to actually make the changes. Now, that's where I think the masters and Maitreya are going to come in, is once, like I said, Maitreya is on TV, speaking very simply, but once he starts to ramp it up a little bit, and then more and more, and because people are responding to it more, and then accepting more of the information, and he's giving more and more, he is going to address these political divisions, and he is going to remind humanity, all of us, in every country without exception, that we are the power behind the change, not the governments. We just have to unify our voice. And just as the Buddha said 2,500 years ago on a Sunday, no, I'm just kidding, I don't know what day it was, that around this time would come another Buddha by name Maitreya Buddha, who would help to inspire and galvanize humanity to build a brilliant golden civilization based on righteousness and truth. That brilliant golden civilization, that new Jerusalem, to put it in Christian terms, is not a city. It's the fact and the truth that we are all one, that we are one big family. Thank you. And as always, take action. Help SOP save our planet. Thanks for listening, and we look forward to talking to you again in future videos. Have a great day.